And finally, before we get to your questions, we have some news to announce.
Commissioner Kathy Engelberg, Commissioner of the WNBA, just announced that starting in 2025, the WNBA Finals format.
The WNBA just dropped a major surprise right in the middle of the playoffs, and yes, you can thank the Caitlin Clark effect for shaking things up. Big rule changes are coming in 2025, but let's be honest, is it too late? Clark's early playoff exit left arenas embarrassingly empty and TV ratings in absolute freefall. Now the league is scrambling to patch the holes, but will these new rules really fix what's broken? Clark didn't just play basketball, she redefined it. 62 records shattered. Sold-out arenas. Sky-high ratings. Night after night, Clark and the Fever were must-watch TV. Fans couldn't get enough.
I knew the atmosphere was going to be electric when they announced Caitlin's name in the dark and the fans went crazy.
But here's the harsh truth, the second Clark was out, everything collapsed. Ratings didn't just drop, they plummeted by 80%. Some arenas suddenly looked like abandoned warehouses with entire sections covered up to hide the empty seats on live TV. Are you really surprised? Clark carried this league like a backpack, and now she's on vacation. Can the WNBA survive without its golden ticket? These new rule changes better be miracle level, because right now, it's looking rough. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe. Ready? Let's break it down.
With the WNBA playoffs, let's stay here. Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now.
The WNBA is officially in panic mode and they're pulling every lever they can find. These aren't just minor adjustments, we're talking a full-blown overhaul that could either save or sink the league. But will it really be enough to fill the Caitlin-sized hole in the ratings, or are they on the fast track back to irrelevance? Here's the plan, they're expanding the regular season from 40 to 44 games with a new team, the Golden State Valkyries, joining the league in 2025. Yep, for more chances to watch your favorite team.
To go to multiple arenas so that people that are watching at home can see this environment in a multitude of cities. It's amazing. I love it. The growth.
And that's not all, the finals are getting a makeover too, moving from a best-of-5 to a best-of-7 series.
Starting in 2025, the WNBA Finals format will change to a best-of-7 series.
Yes.
And the format will be 2-2-1-1.
Because apparently, in the WNBA's playbook, more games equals more fans, more attention, and more money. Oh, and get this, they're revamping the first round of the playoffs to a 1-1-1 format, guaranteeing the lower-seeded team at least one home game.
Say for the fans, it's a benefit for your team. It's played well enough to get into the playoffs. So now that your fans will be able to see your team play at home during those.
Remember the Fever vs. Sun series? Indiana never got to come back and play in front of their home crowd because the first two games were gone in a flash, loaded with controversy. Now, all of a sudden, the league realizes lower seeds should get a home game too. Commissioner Kathy Engelberg is out here pitching these changes like they're a grand solution to save the league. She calls it a constant balancing of the schedule. Yeah, more like a constant scramble to keep the lights on without their superstar.
Increased attention this year. There's also been increased scrutiny about the quality of refereeing. Curious if there has been any conversation about whether it's referee pay, referee training, anything to ensure that is as good as it can.
But let's be honest, are these changes really what fans are asking for? Sure, more games sound nice on paper, but what about the real issues? What about player safety? What about fair officiating? Engelberg didn't even mention them.
And the one thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously not every, they're human.
It feels like they're just slapping on a fresh coat of paint over a house that's already falling apart. Fans aren't stupid, they know exactly what Clark brought to the league, a fast-paced, joyful, team-first brand of basketball. No-look passes, logo threes, and a vibe that made people love the game. Now, it's back to business as usual, except with a few extra games nobody was asking for. The moment Clark left the playoffs, half the arenas emptied out, TV ratings cratered faster than the Chicago Sky season, and the WNBA's master plan is to give us more of what fans are already skipping. Make it make sense. Do the people running this league even hear the fans? They're saying it loud, we want Clark-style basketball. We want fair calls. We want our favorite players protected. But instead, we just get more games.
To see Caitlin Clark tonight.
Oh, gotta watch number 22.
I've been watching Caitlin for a couple of years, and since then I've dreamed about coming to a game.
Let's talk numbers. With Clark on the floor, WNBA games were pulling over 1 million viewers, her playoff games cracked 2 to 3 million easy. Without her, you're lucky to break 500,000. That's not a dip, that's a free fall. No amount of extra playoff games will solve a ratings crash of that scale. So what's the league's actual strategy? Are they hoping that by 2025 fans will forget about the real issues and get excited over a few extra games? Or are they clinging to the hope that some forced rivalries will finally catch fire and rescue the league from its nosedive?
One black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one.
Remember, in Kathy Engelbert's world, it's never just about one player. But here's the problem, these changes might actually backfire. More games mean more wear and tear. Longer playoff series mean higher chances of injuries. And if the officiating stays this bad, all those extra games are just more opportunities for fans to get fed up and walk away. It feels like the league is still in denial. They had lightning in a bottle with Caitlin Clark, and instead of figuring out how to protect and replicate that magic, they're just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Fans aren't begging for more average basketball, they want excitement, they want fair play, and they want to see their favorite players thrive. I get it, change isn't easy, but throwing in a few extra games and calling it progress? That's not the answer. The WNBA needs to take a hard look in the mirror and ask, are these changes what fans actually care about, or is this just another desperate cash grab off the Caitlin Clark wave? If you're still watching, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, we appreciate your time. Now let's keep going.
When you're asked about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
Everyone's so busy talking about rule changes that they're ignoring the real story. Caitlin Clark didn't just change the WNBA on the court. She rewrote the entire playbook for the league, for boardrooms, and for living rooms across the country. Let's talk numbers, because they don't lie. Clark's jersey became the best-selling rookie jersey in WNBA history. That's not just good, it's historic for a league starving for star power. And it wasn't just merchandise. Across her 2024 games, over 54 million combined viewers tuned in. Let that sink in, 54 million. When's the last time the WNBA saw those kinds of numbers?
Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Clarkonomics, my friend.
And here's where it really hits, when Clark played, national TV games averaged 1.2 million viewers. When she didn't, that number dropped to 440,000. That's not a small dip, that's a cliff dive. And it wasn't just TV. Clark's season smashed the WNBA's attendance records with over 1.5 million fans showing up to games. People didn't just tune in, they filled the arenas. And before you say, it's just one player, let me stop you. Clark wasn't just a player, she was a cultural moment. She made women's basketball can't miss TV. She got people talking about the WNBA everywhere, from social media to office break rooms. When's the last time that happened?
She's growing to be the face of the WNBA, reason why her presence on court grabs just as much interest as some of the biggest names over in the men's event. The viewership of the regular season saw 54 million people tune in to watch the WNBA, a boost of 170% from last.
So why are fans tuning out now? It's not just because Clark's gone, it's because what she represented is gone too. Fast-paced, high-scoring, edge-of-your-seat basketball, that's what hooked people. Now, we're right back to the usual grind. And here's the bigger issue, fans aren't just missing Clark's game. They're done with the WNBA's broken system. Player safety? A joke. Fair officiating? Laughable. Remember the eye poke? Or that embarrassing Rookie of the Year phone call in a gym? These aren't just slip-ups. They're signs of a league completely out of touch with what fans and players actually want.
That's what's called being a consumer. You get to buy what you want to purchase.
Let's talk about leadership. Kathy Engelbert and her team seem more focused on quick wins than actually building something that lasts. They struck gold with Clark, but instead of using that momentum to lift the whole league, they rode it until it ran out. Now they're scrambling, thinking a few rule changes will save the day. Spoiler, they won't. Let's not ignore the stuff the WNBA doesn't want to talk about. These new rules aren't a solution, they're a distraction. Let's start with player safety. Remember when Clark got poked in the eye during the playoffs? No foul. No concern. Just a dangerous moment ignored by the officials. That's not just bad refereeing, it's dangerous.
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
And don't think that was a one-time thing. During her rookie season, Clark was the target of 77% of all flagrant fouls in the league. 77%. That's not a coincidence, that's targeted punishment. Were the Jordan rules secretly back? And the so-called Rookie of the Year celebration? A phone call in a practice gym, no real ceremony, no fanfare, no respect. Clark broke records and changed the league, and the WNBA acted like they could barely be bothered to care. It makes you wonder, does this league actually support its stars, or are they just chasing headlines?
Decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
And here's the kicker, fans see right through it. They aren't just missing Clark's game, they're done with the league ignoring the core problems. Player safety. Fair officiating. Proper recognition for stars. Where are the press conferences? Where are the real answers? These aren't minor issues, they're symptoms of a league that's completely out of sync with what fans and players actually want. And more games? Longer playoffs? That's not going to fix it. What's the real solution? The WNBA needs a total overhaul from top to bottom. They need strict player safety rules and real consequences for dirty play. They need to train officials to actually get the calls right every time.
I speak for every one of those fans when I say, I will put my time, my effort, my enjoyment into whatever makes me happy. I enjoy watching her play, and that makes me happy.
And most of all, they need to start treating their stars like they matter. When you have a player like Caitlin Clark breaking records and pulling in millions of viewers, you roll out the red carpet. You make a spectacle out of it. You use that momentum to lift up everyone. But here we are, the WNBA is trying to slap on a few extra games, hoping fans won't notice the league is crumbling from the inside. But let's be real, none of this fixes the real issues. This is a league that can't protect its stars, can't get the officiating right, and can't even bother to properly celebrate its biggest names. And now that Clark's out? Ratings are crashing. Arenas are half empty. The big question is this too little, too late? Or worse, are they even trying to fix the right problems? Because right now, it feels like the WNBA is trying to put out a raging fire with a squirt gun. Will the league finally wake up and learn from the Caitlin Clark effect? Or are we watching women's pro basketball slowly fade into the background? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a video. Click the one on your screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.